Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Martial Arts Theater 3000. I'm really excited. I'm here with my fellow amigos. We got Caleb of Caleb's Kung Fu Cinema.
What's going on?
We got Leon of HKB, Hong Kong and Beyond.
Hi, everyone.
And I'm Jason. And I'm really excited for today. We are doing Van Damme's, our personal top 5, and I'm just stoked to get into this. It's going to be our personal favorites, not necessarily like what we think are the best. And I'm just excited. We're going to go around, but before we begin on this, we're going to do a couple honorable mentions for everyone. And let's kick off with Leon on your honorable mentions of Van Damme's top 5, your personal top 5.
Okay, so for my honorable mentions, I picked a couple of films that are really personal to me. They come from a specific genre, and I really enjoyed them. And if we was doing a different listing on a different type of movie, they might make it into that. But first up is an 80s film, 89, and it is Cyborg. And
Wow.
I love Cyborg. I love that sort of B-movie sci-fi film. And when I first saw that, and it was directed by Albert Pun, I just was really taken with it. I know a lot of people were down on it because there wasn't as much martial arts on it, but I like the cheap sci-fi effects, and I like the whole subgenre that spawned after it. And some of the other films that followed, like, Cyborg 2, Nemesis, Knights, I loved all that stuff. So that's my first honorable mention. And then I'm also going to stay in the sci-fi genre, and I'm going to add in Universal Soldier, which I fought with a lot. It nearly made my list. But when I went on the rewatch, and I was quite surprised at how I felt rewatching stuff, I thought, I've got to mention Universal Soldier because I do love it a lot. And I think it's one of Dolph Lundgren's best villain performances. But it didn't quite make my list. But honorable mention to those two because I really like them. And I just thought they deserved a little mention today.
Killer. Real quick, I'm going to throw in a pop quiz question. I know you're going to be able to answer this. On Cyborg, why did it look quite as cheap, or do you know where all the costumes came from?
I believe it was supposed to be the set for Masters of the Universe 2.
There you go. I knew you know that.
But yeah, unfortunately, that never got made. Canon spent too much money on Masters of the Universe 1, and they had a great big special effect thing that failed utterly, and that put the kibosh on that. But a shame. But I'm glad that we got what we did for Cyborg, and the cheap and nasty effects suit me down to the ground.
I do remember that Cyborg, or like everything in Cyborg, was supposed to be meant for something else. I couldn't remember what the movie was though, but yeah.
It's funny once not to be on a Cyborg tangent, but it's fun. But yeah, once you hear that and you see like the football pads and you see these like things like repainted and apparently like Van Damme wanted to he was so upset when he saw Cyborg and he went and re-edited it. He did it a few times, but I know Cyborg he thought was just utter trash and he turned it into something like salvageable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the Slinger cut, the German Blu-ray. Did you ever see that? Slightly different. It's okay. It's just a slightly different order and a few different scenes that weren't in the Cyborg cut.
Cool. All right, I guess I'll do my 2 honorable mentions. Okay, so No Retreat, No Surrender. It almost made my top 5, but you guys might agree I might be in your top 5, but it doesn't fully feel like a Van Damme quote unquote movie to me. I mean, with the Bruceploitation, and the main character, Jason, and all of that, I think Van Damme is killer. I love it. With Corian, I think the action, I think this is Van Damme's best choreography in any of his movies, which is crazy. I mean, there's a couple, I'm sure there's a lot of like more past 15-year Van Damme ones we've missed. I know that, like when I was looking at some lists, I was like, what is that? I mean, he has like a lot of like straight to videos around like 2008 that I didn't see. So barring some like crazy one where he teamed up with an amazing choreographer, No Retreat, No Surrender has like my favorite Van Damme fighting. And we'll get into that later, but I love that. We all love that one. It's a classic. And then the other honorable mention I'm going to have to say is Hard Target. That almost made my list. But on the rewatch, it just did not hit like it did in 1993 in the theater with my dad. I think John Woo, sometimes his like stylized techniques can be dated a bit, especially when, oh my God, even him lighting the guy's cigar, it was like it was so much slow-mo. By like halfway through, I was so slow-moed out, which in the fight scenes are cool, but it's like when you're lighting a dude's cigar, do we need that to be so wooified even then? It's like, and they blew it out. Oh my gosh. But Hard Target was great. It's a bit more dated. The mullet is, that makes it almost like top 5 for me, but just the nonstop slow-mo, it is great, but like I said, but it didn't quite make it in there for me.
Cool.
Then, what's yours, Caleb?
Yeah, honorable mentions. One of them quickly came to mind, but then this other one I'm kind of having a hard time with. Because I would have easily picked something like, Universal Soldier or Hard Target, even No Retreat, No Surrender, even though that's not so much a Van Damme movie as it is, a Kurt McKinney movie, you could say. But
are you saying pick for your honorable mention, not for the top 5, right?
Yeah.
You mean, oh, okay.
Yeah. But definitely one, I would say Street Fighter. It's
interesting.
Yeah, I know it's I know it's as far as like adaptations go, it's not good, and I know that was at a point in Van Damme's career where he was
partaking.
Questionable things, doing questionable things. I'll say he's also like he was quite the controversial star at the time. However, the movie itself is still a ton of fun. Like even for me. Like I still watch the movie. Like every now and then I'll be like, you know what, I think I want to watch Street Fighter. So I just.
But that's your weakness, though. Tournament movies. When it's a tournament, it really wins you over.
Yeah, but it doesn't even have a tournament though. It's
I don't mean tournament. I just mean like the setup of. Yeah. It doesn't have the brackets, but I know what you mean.
it's the fighting game aspect of it.
Okay, that's what it is. Okay, it hit another.
And also. I was going to say it should get a mention as well because Kylie Minogue's in it.
Oh yes, yeah.
Going to see her next week. I'm going to see her.
Really, you're going to see her in concert? Oh
yep.
Wow!
Next week. Cool.
I'll be honest, not to shoot down your parade, but I never saw like when people die over Kylie. I couldn't quite see it, but apparently like Van Damme saw it, and I guess they had an affair on set. So.
Very envious. Very envious. Yeah.
Yeah. And another one, you guys are gonna hate me for this, but I'm gonna say Kickboxer.
Okay.
Kickboxer did not make my top 5. Sorry, it didn't. But will.
Could you give us a quick review in a few words of Quick?
Can we turn him off? Can we
cut my feed?
Yeah, you pixelated a bit.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, Kickboxer didn't make my top 5, but I will give it the credit and give it an honorable mention. It is definitely a movie that solidified Van Damme as an action star and stuff like that. It's still just not in my preference. I'll say it's just not what I prefer over some other ones. So yeah, sorry,
it's fine by chance.
Hot take here.
Did it reach fine status or?
It reached fine status. So
yeah, for anyone listening, Caleb said it's fine about Kickboxer, and it like struck me and Leon in the hearts. It's fine, and I was sending him pictures of T-shirts saying it's fine. It's like that's when the wife or girlfriend says that you're in trouble.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. You might have a surprise then, because I did a little list here, which I'll reveal at the end of the episode. Yeah, I've predicted what both of you are going to put in your top 5. So I'm going to leave this here, and we'll see how close we get.
I'm excited for that, man. That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. All right. Without any further ado, we're going to jump into it. Leon, so let's hear your top 5 Van Dammes.
Okay. Do you want the whole lot in one go or just one at a time?
One at a time. You're chomping at the bit.
I'm very excited. I've been pacing around all morning. So psyched for this. Sharon's like, you're going to sit down and settle? And I can now. Thank God.
Yes.
So number 5, and Caleb's going to like this, is Bloodsport.
All right.
So
yeah,
I know we've said before that Jason and I didn't particularly rate it as much as some of the others, but I went through and I watched them all again, as we have been doing. I've been having a real blast watching JCVD again, and I I was surprised. I was surprised at how good I thought the film was overall. And the setting, for some reason, I completely forgot we get scenes in Kowloon Walled City. And I'm like, oh my God, how can I forget the tournament takes place there? But I had. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed it this time around, even though it's kind of raw and some of the acting's a little bit weaker compared to some of the other stuff from later on. I feel like the performances are good. The martial arts could be better. And there's only one reason why I haven't got it higher up on the list, which is kind of that the villain in it, Bolo, he's kind of handicapped a little bit, you know. At the end, he has to cheat a little bit to, you know, in order for him to be a threat to Van Damme. And for me, that just dilutes it just a tiny weeny bit. Was if he was just badass enough without having to cheat and a big enough threat, I think it would have given me a completely different outlook on the film, and it might have been that much higher. But I do really like Bello in this. I like Jackson. I like everybody in it, actually. I think they all fit the roles pretty well. And the music's really, really good. And the Hong Kong setting is absolutely fantastic. When Van Damme's on top of that building doing the splits overlooking the city, and that's magic. And we got Karate Champ in there. What more can I say? So, yeah, this has given me a new appreciation for Bloodsport. So, Caleb, there you go. I got him in there, Bloodsport. I hope you're proud, brother.
Yeah, I'm glad somebody threw it in there.
Cool. So for my number 5, I got Sudden Death. And this one, yeah, it was filmed in my hometown of Pittsburgh. And it's funny, in our hometown, like, I swear it's not who you knew that was an extra in Sudden Death. It was like trying to find someone that wasn't an extra in the hockey scenes. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, we were all 15, and I actually wasn't, but I mean, they were just, I remember they were doing like, come on down. They need to fill up that stadium to do the hockey matches and everything. And to be honest, back then I probably rented it whenever it came out on VHS, maybe 96. And I thought it was decent, but I was in that zone where I didn't quite catch it, but they were trying to turn Van Damme into more of an action star. You know, they were like cutting him off at the legs, literally. I think there's so much less kicks in a lot of those movies in that period, especially like Nowhere to Run. Well, that's a couple of years earlier, but I think he throws like no kicks in Nowhere to Run, maybe like one or something. Yeah. And in this, I was like, oh man, you can't have Van Damme. Like, I mean, this wasn't even like missing the helicopter kick. This was missing like just his standard kicks. And I was like, okay, they're trying to like Arnold him out. This is what I'm seeing now. So at the time, I liked it as an action film. On the rewatch here, I was like, man, it really holds up. It has that Die Hard setting, you know, and I love when a movie's in one area. I think that's really cool, like The Thing, and of course, Die Hard. I don't know what you call that for like setting movie or whatever, but just being in one locale and not leaving. I just think it gives like a cozy vibe and can be, you know, more scary. And yeah, I just love that one. It's I learned later that they were going to have it be like kind of a comedy, and it was going to be like a mixture of an action and a comedy. And like that scene with him fighting Iceberg, the mascot, was like more the comedy side of it. And like that made the later cut, but then they made it more serious. And when I researched why they did it in the Penguins in the Civic Arena, it was because the producer, her last name's Baldwin, her husband was the owner of the Penguins, and she would go to the matches and see them open up the roof of the igloo and everything. So she thought, wow, this would be great to do an action movie here. So they got the ball rolling. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, Sudden Death is my jam.
Got to mention Powers Booth is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Villain in that.
Yes.
I mean, he really knocks it out of the park, and he's really, really ruthless. And I love that. No messing, he's a killer.
Alrighty. Caleb, what's your number 5?
Yeah, so my number 5, again, I'm kind of the one with the hot takes over here. So for my number 5, some people may go crazy when they realize I put this in my top 5 and I didn't put Kickboxer in there. For my number 5, I put The Quest.
Wow.
Yeah.
You suck. You suck, Caleb.
That's it, guys. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Yeah.
He's offset the axis of the world now. It's all good.
He's killing me. You're killing me over here.
Yeah, I know. So a lot of The Quest, a lot of people will say it's just another blood sport, but you know what? I think it's a cool movie. I like the setting. That's like one thing I really like about it is the setting. I like how it's I like how it's much much older. Bloodsport was very modern, and so the Quest they try to go a little more old timey with it, and it's got a good cast. I mean, yeah, Van Damme is in there, and we get to see him, like with all the street kids like early on in the movie and everything like that, and then they just kind of they throw him out because he screwed up. And he does play it pretty he plays it pretty straight and pretty serious throughout the movie as well, which I gotta hand it to him for that. It's got James Bond, Roger Moore. I mean, he was amazing. I
think that's Leon. That's your favorite James Bond, right, Leon?
It is. Roger Moore is my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely great.
Shot a mistake.
Roger Moore was definitely great, and it's also got James Remar. I like him too. He's also pretty good in the movie. He does a good job kind of playing, like, first he's like him and Van Damme like butt heads and everything, but then he becomes a friend of this guy and cheers him on and everything like that. So I like that part. I like that part of it too. And we do get I cannot remember the actor, Abdel Kisi, who plays like our main Mongolian villain. It's he doesn't talk in the movie really, but his character may not have as much of an identity as other villains in other Van Damme movies, but yeah, and again, you Jason said it earlier, I'm a sucker for the tournament setting, so I had to I had to throw that one in there.
I just want to add, like, that movie, I haven't seen that one in a while. I saw it on VHS, and I had a preconceived notion. I don't know if I read it. I just knew that this was when Van Damme's career was really like declining quick. I mean, it was right off. I think it's the one after Sudden Death, I believe. Maybe there's one between. And I know he wrote it and directed it all that. But I just, when you go in and a movie just in your mind is already kind of like off a little bit, it's hard for it to regain its footing. It just didn't have that it factor for me. So while watching it, I couldn't get it back on the runway. It was just kind of like always felt just not there. And I felt that for a lot of those ones in that like late 90s of Van Damme.
Yeah.
But I think I would do want to rewatch it. There were so many, I couldn't rewatch them all. And I just knew that one wouldn't crack in for me. But you've inspired me there, though. So I should check it out. How's the fighting on that like nowadays? Watching
it pretty
bad.
Yeah, it's fine. It's pretty
it's
typical.
All right, isn't it?
Like I guess you could say like typical Van Damme choreography, but it's kind of one of those things where it was so long ago and it was so common back then that I just kind of learned to accept it. This is just what it is. You can wish that they had done it a little differently, but it is what it is.
They got some really good shots then, though. I don't know if you noticed, but on some of the fight scenes in the Quest, they use a steady cam. And they're moving the camera around while they're fighting, and it just looks really good, really atmospheric. So, yeah, I can.
That's something we should address real quick. Yeah. So when Caleb says the Van Damme style, I think that's one of his, in my opinion, Achilles' heel a bit. Is when I think it's the choreographers, but they do that effect in a lot of the ones where it's just one move, and then like maybe the blocks are sometimes not even there that much. It's just like a move, and it's really dramatic.
A lot
but it doesn't.
Posing.
Yeah, and that's cool, but that's why I like No Retreat, No Surrender, because I think Corian was like, oh, we're not. This is like before it really got to the Van Damme way, and it's just he has it in him to do that back and forth, and you see it more in this. It's just interesting sometimes that even Jackie Chan movies, there'll be a killer kick and he does the pose, but then it goes into the boom, 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 and then they'll do the killer move. This is just like, hey, let's cut out all the boom, boom, booms, and we're just doing. I think it'll be interesting which ones we feel break out of that mold a bit.
Yeah.
All right, Leon, what's your number 4?
Right. Okay. So you might see a little bit of theme and tie in with my honorable mentions here at number 4, because I'm going back to the sci-fi genre again, and we have Time Cop.
Nice.
I absolutely love Time Cop. It's such silly nonsense, but wonderfully played. I like that we get the 2 different Van Dammes again, because obviously we got him younger, we got him older, and I love having Mia Sara as his wife, who gets killed off at the beginning. And again, Ron Silver, absolutely fantastic actor, makes a brilliant villain. And the way he doubles up and does the young Ron Silver and the old Ron Silver, and you can see how more jaded and jagged he's become with time as he's got older. And I just like the way it opens up as well. You know, we're starting off at Civil War sort of era, and somebody's gone back to get some gold. There is some good fights in it. You know, it's not fight heavy at all, but it fits in with what he's able to do, like maybe a security guard, you know. And I just like there's the one knife fight. I think it's against James Liu, isn't it? Yeah, it's James Liu.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I love that. But more than anything, if there's a film's got time travel in it, you know, I just really, really dig it. And that they fit it so well with Van Damme. And some of the humor in it as well, like the geeky guy that's on the computer and he's got his VR headset with the porn on. I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Really appeals to my sense of humor, as you probably can guess. But yeah,
the guy keeps changing. Like one time he comes back, he's all up in the ranks. Then he comes back and he's sloppy again. Like he keeps changing his like ranks, like because of the time continuance.
Oh yeah, there's so much you can see in that film, and if you watch it again and again, you'll spot different things every time. And I really do like that. And I think for me, I think it's quite underrated. I think he was reaching a peak with this film of like budget movies that he was doing. And I think he had like opportunity to do more after Time Cop. I think he was offered a really big picture deal, if I remember right, like so many million for like 4 pictures, and he turned it down. Yeah. And then the studios turned their back on him because he wanted more. And it was like an offer that had never been heard of. But shame, because I'd like to have seen what could have come after that. But yeah, I really love Time Cop, and that's why it's got my number 4 spot. I know a lot of the purists that like just the martial arts may, you know, not fudge it into their collection, let's say, and I appreciate that. But for me, because I like a little bit of drama, and I like a lot of sci-fi, and I love Van Damme, and I just think, yeah, jumping up onto the counter with your legs in the splits, that's just perfect, man. You can't go wrong with that.
Killer. All right. For my number 4, I have Double Impact. Now, this one, nice. I saw a ton of these in the theater with my father, and he'd take me to the Arnold ones. And, you know, I'm not sure if I got it. Yeah, I think I got him into Van Damme in a way, being younger on the VHS. So we'd see them all. And this one, I feel this encapsulates like a perfect Van Damme movie. I mean, his acting was much better than in the 80s. You know, I feel like he just kept getting better and better. And I feel, even though the effects are primitive in a couple shots, the split screen stuff is really good in this. Not as good as Time Cop, I'll say. Not as good as Time Cop. That's really smooth in Time Cop when it has the two of them. But this one, and there's a couple of moments where they try to sit them on the same couch, and it's kind of obvious, you know. But outside of that, I love the special effects. Van Damme, his acting is so good because, like, no matter what he does in this, he never confuse the two of them, and not just because of their haircuts, you know. They really just he has an ability to really separate the two. Of course, we have Bolo, and this one, I think the fighting is a little less of that one move. I mean, there's just a little more like substance there in the choreography, and it's just a nice mix. It has comedy, it has Van Damme, you know, playing the dual roles. It has good choreography. It has Bolo in that famous fight scene with the barrels. I think that is just like classic Van Damme. You know, I love that, and it's just great. I think it just flows good. And you get a helicopter kick. I mean, it just kind of, I feel like this is maybe the peak of just your standard Van Damme film before they tried to get him into Time Cop and sudden death and action sci-fi as much. This is, I mean, this has like some elements of, no, I wouldn't say. It's just pretty much action and martial arts in this. There's nothing too like oddball. So that's my number 4.
Cool.
Caleb, you're up.
Yeah, so my number 4, Leon, I know you made a prediction list for all of us. I don't know if you saw this one going, but my number 4 is also Time Cop.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I'm not giving nothing away.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to top what you said about it. I mean, you pretty much covered all the bases. I mean, I will say it is a good dramatic role for Van Damme. I like him in dramatic roles because he can do it, you know, like much like Jason was saying about his choreography. He can do the fast-paced stuff that we like, and he can also act like he really can. Like it's even like with the even with the accent, and then in some of his movies, he does seem to kind of be playing at one note. It's there are moments in his career where he does play like a serious role and stuff like that, and he can show off his acting chops. And this is one of those movies that's a good example of that. It is also his most successful movie to date. Like he has like box office wise, money and everything. He is not topped Time Cop, and that's something to brag about there. And it does have my all time favorite Split. On the counter.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Whatever you said about Kickboxer,
all
is forgotten. All is well with the world now.
Yeah.
I've told you how much I admire you and your opinion, Caleb.
Yeah.
What's the line he says before the Split? He says 50,000 volts, mother ever, or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this might sound strange.
So cool.
In my memory, before I rewatched, I thought he did that. This is going to sound odd. I thought he did that Split nude in my mind. I don't know why. Probably because we see his ass so much in these movies, Probably because we see that. I just and thankfully I saw the boxer shorts. I'm like, okay, this is like.
Yeah, no, I would not want Shaz watching that. I mean, it's fun enough some of the other films. Yeah. Well, she picked up on something actually, what Caleb just mentioned about the accent, and until this series of rewatches, I hadn't really noticed. But she started laughing every time they mentioned that. Oh, he's from Canada. Oh, he was brought up in France.
They
had
an
excuse in every single movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic. Yeah,
and interestingly, like Arnold, they don't seem like they never really had to compensate for that. It's like this is Conan the Barbarian, and he says Austrian, and that's just how it is. I mean, like, and Conan, I don't know. I'm sorry, Arnold. Who do you think has a stronger accent? I think Arnold maybe by a bit. Than
I would say Arnold.
You think it's me? I don't know what you're saying. And the Van Damme guy, he's all over the place.
I heard a joke saying Arnold's one of the only people to live in America for 40 years, and his accent gets stronger. It might have been 50 years, but his accent seems to get thicker. And I will say in Double Impact, I noticed when he was the I don't know what you call him, preppier guy, not the rugged guy. He did try to do a bit more of an American accent than the other guy. Yeah, Chad. He tried to chat it up in the accent. All right, Leon, you're up. Number 3.
Okay, my number 3 has already been mentioned so far today, and it is Hard Target. Now, I don't think that'd be a surprise to you two. You two know me pretty well. I love my John Woo stuff, and I did fight with this one actually. At one stage, I had it right at the top. And then I rewatched it and I was like, you know what? I do love this film. And I've got fond memories like Jason, because I actually went with my mum to cinema to see this one.
Killer.
And even though at the time I wasn't that chuffed at cinema, I was chuffed to see it with my mum. But I thought, oh, this isn't John Woo. And then I also thought, well, it's not Van Damme either. But when we got our Laserdisc copy, which is the one I watched this time, yeah, I thought, well, I like the gel. I like the mix, and that they've tried to create something different. You've still got the wooisms, like you say. There's an awful lot of them, and there is slow mode almost to parody at points.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
But the amount of tracking they used on this film, for the gunfights, and I just love the setups. I love the story that they're being hunted for money. Firstly, anything where you got that sort of real life sort of death match, that's always really, really appealed to me. Like Surviving the Game as well. I like that one, The Running Man, all these type of films. And I just thought Van Damme as an ex-forces guy, obviously a bit of a vagrant now, and that completely different look that he's got. Like you say, the mullet alone is enough to get him into this film. And the stages of the film where it feels like a Levi's commercial, or Western.
Yes.
And it really shouldn't work on paper. It should be awful.
There's something odd, not to interject. There's something odd, like I know what you mean. Like the shots of the is it New Orleans? There's like some different places in there. I think it's
New Orleans.
Yeah, the shots of the streets. I know what you mean. It is just there's something like John Woo's doing a commercial meets like.
Yeah, and also I think the picks for the support cast were really really clever in this. Yancey Butler, I liked her at the time. I thought she was quite a good actress, but Lance Henriksen, I mean, oh my god, I mean he's so good. I really love Lance Henriksen, and we got Imhotep himself in there as well. What's his name? The actor who plays Imhotep. You know who I mean?
Not offhand.
Yeah,
It's gone out my head, but he played Imhotep in the first two Mummy films.
You're talking about the guy that's always chomping at the bit to kill Van Damme with the
Yeah.
very short hair. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
sure his name.
Yeah.
I'm
So
drawing.
he was Imhotep in the Mummy films. It might come to me later, but yeah, I like those two combined, and I like the little old guy in it as well that plays his uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just there's so many outrageous stunts, like the one where he stood on top of the bike. You know, I guess it is kind of laughable, but if I'm switched off into B movie territory, and I thought I'm just there for spectacle and I'm there for good time, then you know I love it on that level. But also when I kind of looked at it this time as well, I thought, well, actually, he's actually saying quite a lot in this film. And I thought, I wonder if people are missing the subliminal messages that he's putting in there, because it feels like he's addressing like homeless problems and people that are overlooked in society. And I thought, is that it's got to be a conscious thing, because John Woo's not, he's not daft, is he? He knows what he's doing. So
Very
I feel
deliberate.
like he specifically picked this tale and this story, and he's come in hard, no pun intended, for his first US debut film. And I thought, yeah, I could watch this again and again, and I haven't watched it for so many years. And I thought, I'm so glad I returned to this one, because watching it with Shaz, and she'd never seen it, and to see her reaction to it, it just made me feel like really fluffy inside, because I remember Mum's reaction when I saw it with her. So that is my number 3, Hard Target, and yeah, really chuffed with that one.
What was your mum's feeling on it? Too violent for her?
You joking, right? My mum, she might be 92 now, but the more blood and guts that's in a film, she loves it. It's really strange.
Okay, that's actually coming back to me. What was your you have a nickname for her when she was like part of HKB? You called her, I don't know, you had a name.
Oh,
for
the
her.
senior partner.
Yes. Yes. Okay, it's coming back to me now.
Yeah.
One hard target question. Did you catch when you were saying about him going up on the bike? There's a scene where there's a truck going, and I can't remember exactly, but he's supposed to like go up in the air and the truck passes, but they time it on. You can see the ramp that he goes off of. Did you remember that? It's like you can see the ramp.
What ramp? I try not to see this.
Exactly. All right, fellas. So my number 3, drum roll, is Bloodsport. Now, I had Double Impact above Bloodsport, but it just felt wrong because of the classic status of Bloodsport. And I've had a bit of a tangle with Bloodsport over the years, because it was always the one I'd see at the rental place, literally like in 1989 when I was 10 years old. And I don't know, it just like you'd rent one, I'd rent like 2 Champions of Shaolin, and finally I got Bloodsport, and I really liked it. But this ties in with my father again. He was in the room, and the scene where Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds, I think before I said he got killed. He didn't get killed. He went in the hospital. But that scene where Van Damme does his like scream, no, my father was like, my father just told me that acting's like rough. And I was like, oh, it kind of hurt me a little bit, because I was so 10 years old and impressionable. And I've mentioned to Sean and Dragon how I love the movie Devil's Advocate with Keanu Reeves, but the scene where he cries, it kind of like tanked the movie for me, because I thought his acting, he probably could do it better now, but that scene, it just like almost tanked the movie. I'm the type of person where, and I think it's a common thing, the acting can be really good, but when there's one, like, they say in Godfather 3, Coppola's daughter, I guess, has some questionable acting in it, and that can tank things for people, How
do you look good acting opposite angry Al Pacino?
Yeah, there you go. But point being, that did throw me a bit, that acting, and I did kind of see how he was so green, and the fight scenes, they're set up so well, but it just has that like boom, big kick, and just they rush a lot of them. That's the thing I see in some of these movies where the timing on a kung fu movie, they really give you a nice, they don't really, at the end of the movie, when they're trying to hit that hour and a half, they'll rush a few fights. But in Van Damme ones, because of some of the, I guess, tournament settings, they'll just like, kind of like Karate Kid, they'll go through it quick. And that just, I don't know, there's something feels a little off to me. I can't deny the status of it. You know, TBS would play it over here. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, Leon. It was just classic. This, you know, Turner Broadcasting, whatever it stands for, systems. And God, it was just a TBS classic. And it comes on, you watch it, you love it. But when you're treated to all these Jackie Chan movies and all this choreography, it just feels odd, the fighting to me, you know. And but it can't take away from it. It needs to be in the top 5 of Van Damme. It's like a prerequisite. And I do think it has funny moments. I do think it's cool. Karate Champ brings it up into the discussion as well. But I just think if the fights were just a little bit better, even as good as, you know, Time Cop, or even as good as like that choreography, I think it would easily be higher. And maybe if they kind of did a second take on the death scene when Van Damme yells. So,
Yeah,
it's my
sure.
number 3. Got Bloodsport. I'm sorry to disappoint some of the audience, because Bloodsport is like Enter the Dragon, Bloodsport. I can't think what else. Just some of these ones, you know, it's like sacrilege. People just worship the status of it. You know, it's like
that's it, isn't it? And I guess when you rewatch stuff, then you can compartmentalize it a little bit and step back from it and think, is it, or is it just the concept that really appeals to me? You know, or I really love this, but if that had happened, like when we do our recasting the classics, we go into it with a feeling of like maybe it could be tweaked a little bit better, and doesn't affect the classic status of the films, does it? They're still classics and we still love them, but you can look objectively, and because all of us three and you know, and most of the community out there, you've seen so much more, have a little think about what you really do feel about it.
Yeah,
for sure. Caleb, you're up next.
Yeah, my number 3, this is what I was afraid of. My number 3 is Double Impact.
What, afraid of the overlap?
yeah, I was worried something like this would happen, but yeah.
No, I like it because we give different insights. I want to hear what makes it up this high for you.
Yeah, Double Impact for me, it's I just really like I mean, like Jason was saying earlier, I like how it's just, you know, just a martial arts action movie. I mean, I like the setting in Hong Kong. I do like how Van Damme doesn't just play the same 2 people. Like, you really do buy that these are they are twins. They look the same, but they're 2 completely different people. There are some scenes like with Van Damme's with his chat character that do get a chuckle out of me. And I also, but at the same time, like his gangster half, I'll say, he plays it well. Like he also pulls that part of it off very well. The fight with Bolo is a classic. I love that fight scene. That's definitely one of Van Damme's better ones. And again, it's also got another pretty crazy split with when he's like showing off his moves to all the girls in the dance studio.
That's me at work every Friday afternoon.
Shaz, are you hearing this?
Oh crap!
Yeah.
The hooker's gonna come and pull you.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a fun one. I do think you know, it is like Jason was saying earlier, it is quite noticeable whenever they have both twins on screen, because I don't know if either of you guys probably noticed it. You probably did, but you know, like whenever like both Van Dammes are on screen, the lighting is different. Like there's like one Van Damme is brighter than the other. That's like,
and he's like, it's also, he's like hazy in the background.
Yeah.
The one I meant is when they sit on the couch, the guy looks like a color forms almost. He's like really cut out, like, you know, and but yeah, no, you're right. It's like and like I said, in Time Cop, there's a lot of scenes where they have them in the same thing, but the technology must have got better a bit.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to remember the first time I saw Double Impact. I saw it on TV. I don't remember what channel it was or anything like that, but I remember just kind of coming across it, and I was like, oh, okay, Van Damme, I'll watch this. And so, and I didn't realize it was Double Impact. It was my first time seeing Double Impact, and so I didn't realize what was going on. I didn't know that there were like twins or anything. And so when I saw them on when I saw like both Van Dammes together on screen, I was like, "Whoa, what is that?" because again, it was quite obvious, like which kind of like just like with the way the lighting was like for each side of the screen, like where each Van Damme was. So yeah, it's an interesting first viewing for me, but yeah, I like it. I think it's just a good bare bones martial arts movie
for sure. I want to add a funny
Right.
little moment. I saw that. I guess that's 91 when that came out, and
Yeah.
so I was 12, and my father took me, and you're sitting there watching with your dad. And I could feel the nude scene like building up a little bit, and like I'm sitting there and I'm eating my popcorn. And normally, like with your father, like I don't know, just like at that age, the love scene comes along and it just moves. It's like whatever. This one it's so exaggerated, because it's a fantasy. I mean, it's just like, oh my God, I remember looking down at my popcorn like, oh, I'm not interested in this, Dad. I don't know, not doing that. I could feel, I felt I was a little too young because their dad had to bring you into the R movie. This was like a kind of, next year he would have been more like, Jace, look, yeah, that's a love scene, man. It just goes on, and it's like they're floating in the air pretty much. And, it's like,
It's almost
I guess
Sex and Zen.
Yeah. And it's weird. The more drunk the whatever you'd call them, the like grittier Van Damme gets, the more the sex scenes are like floating in the air. There's these like things. All right, Leon. It's your number 2, right?
Yeah. This is going to be really, really tough. Number 2, was my first Van Damme film at the cinema, and it's Double Impact.
Oh, Caleb predicted this.
2, it's fitting.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I just I remember I actually went with my brother to see this, and we don't always see eye to eye on martial art films, but when we went to see this, we both had a blast. It was the first opportunity I had to go and see a Van Damme film at the cinema because I was just at the right age for the UK to go and see it. I think I might have been underage. I'm not sure, but I got in to see it.
Oh, I didn't know they did that back then. They had like R and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah, it's always been like it was UPG 15, 18 back then. And I think it was an 18, but yeah, would it be 91? I would have been just a year under, so they wouldn't notice. And I got in. And just when they're flying down into Hong Kong, and I'd already been aware of Hong Kong and was into Hong Kong movies, obviously. And just seeing that, the way it was filmed in this, it felt like a massively big budget film in comparison to what I'd seen martial arts cinema at that point. And I was really, really impressed with the twins aspect. The only twins film I'd seen before that with an actor playing dual roles was Dead Ringers with Jeremy Irons, which was comparatively boring. I didn't understand David Cronenberg then. I was too young. I do now. And yeah, I get it. But again, I thought for me, this one, it was number 1 for quite a while, actually. I kept sleeping on it, changing. But
I love it.
What you said earlier, Jason, it is like the sort of kind of, in a way, it's the ultimate Van Damme film because it's him doing his thing, and it's him doing his thing right for me. When he does do like longer fight scenes in some other films, some of the stuff like he's done with some of the Hong Kong directors, maybe, and they try and put a little bit more in, like the films he's done with Choi Hock, Double Team and Knockoff and whatnot. It doesn't quite gel for me because he's that much bigger, and I think to get a balance between his size and the effect his blows would have on an opponent. And I feel like Double Impact gets that right. And what it also gets right for me that Bloodsport didn't quite nail was Bolo. Bolo is a big part of why I love Double Impact so much. With the scoring on his face when he gets shot at the beginning, he just looks so menacing. And that first scene where he gets hold of Chad and he's like ramming into the container, and he's just like merciless. And you think, oh my God, he's never going to stand a chance against him. And that's what I like, having insurmountable odds where somebody as big as Van Damme can be the underdog. And it really works well for me in that. And there's that other scene as well, which is shot in a kind of a silhouetted fight scene, the guy with the spurs on, and because we've already seen what he's done, we know how dangerous he is, and I just love that. He's like, cutting him a little bit with a few kicks here and there, and then he gets all of them, and it's like, and he's just like, you think, yeah, that's it, you're done, and he's got you now, mate. And I just really love that. And I thought Corey Everson too. I remember having a bodybuilding mag with Van Damme and Corey Everson on, and thinking, wow, they look great together. And I couldn't wait for the film to come out to see. And she just looked absolutely, like, I don't know, vital. She looked so impressive on the screen. A bit like when Michiko Nishiwaki came in My Lucky Stars, it was like hit you in the face. And I love everything about Double Impact. I love Feel the Impact, the song. Absolutely killer. So it was nearly at my number one. I had to do some real deep soul searching, but I'm so chuffed that it made both your list. It really means a lot to me.
That's cool.
And yeah, so I'm really, really pleased with that. And I think we've covered the Double Impact pretty well today, actually. So it's had its due.
I have a double impact question based off of something you just said for both you guys. Did you feel though, what's the female like bodybuilder? What's her name?
Corey Everson.
Okay.
She was also in Hercules, Legendary Journeys, always chasing after Hercules.
Oh, okay. When I looked her up, I guess she was like a 7-time Mrs. Olympia or something like that. But she so on screen, like you said, the presence and everything. But did you feel when it finally got and was going to go down, it was kind of anticlimactic? Like the fight kind of like sucked. Like it was odd. Like I don't know. Just there wasn't anything to it. She was like dead before you even could like. Like
it could have done with a bit more. That one definitely, because you're waiting for it, aren't you? And it's like, like you say, it's over and done with. It's a bit like with the Michiko Nishiwaki, one punch from Samo and out. So I feel it's more gimmick, and probably she wasn't up to it then. She'd not done any on-screen action.
Oh, good point. Good point.
So they probably just did what they could do with what they thought was enough impact, if you excuse the pun. But yeah, I do like it, but it kind of leaves me with my mouth watering, wanting a little bit more,
It's like one stab, and I think they had to get to the part where those guys are up there shooting down, or they had to like move along. All right, my number 2 is Time Cop, and we're having a lot of overlap in this final stretch, but it's fun. We can just add some other takes that we saw. I saw, of course, this again in the theater, and I did like this one. I definitely liked it, but on the rewatch, it really, really held up for me. When I'm seeing it nowadays, and they say this is Van Damme's. I mean, this kind of is in a way. This is the button on that whole 88 to 95 period. Actually, no, this is 94. This is the peak. And like, I think it was, who was talking about his renegotiations? Was that you, Leon, or Caleb? Talking about how he was trying to redo.
I think I mentioned it first, but Caleb mentioned as well about.
So and if you ever look up his drug use, it is like beyond shocking. It doesn't even seem to make sense. It says something like $10,000 a week and like 10 grams a day or something insane. I do remember a documentary on him said when he was doing the drug use, he was saying as he would be up till 3 a.m. working out in the gym, and then he'd have to be up at 6 to be on set. I know, guys, if you guys ever saw, like, there was a like behind the scenes talking about him and his wife, and I think they got remarried like 2 times or something. He remarried the same woman, and it went through all of that, this behind the scenes. And I think you can start to see that he seemed to age pretty fast in that period. I don't know if you guys notice in his face and the bags under his eyes and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I mean, right around that 94. I mean, it has to. If you're doing 10 grams of cocaine, something has to like give on the end. And I don't know if I quite saw it in. I did see it in Sudden Death, but this is, like I said, he looks great on screen here. Yeah, but talking about the renegotiation, I guess it was $36 million they offered to him, and it was going to be 3 films broken up into $12 million each. And he knew Jim Carrey was getting, for The Mask, another $20 million each. So he thought he'd just say, "Oh no, I want Jim Carrey money," and they just instantly, like he said, they hung up on him and he was blacklisted. He admits, I mean, he tried to play hardball and he really lost on that. And what could have been if he just kept going, but in Time Cop, the pacing's amazing. The fight scenes are nice and snappy in this. This doesn't have the one shots. It really, it's perfect little morsels, you know? Yeah. And I watched, I believe it was on Viking Samurai's channel, an interview with a guy. I don't know if it was Sheldon Lettich. He was a stunt man, but Sheldon Lettich is he's the director, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I
point.
don't think it's him, but the stunt man who did that scene where they're like at the very end and it's raining and there's two Van Dammes in the thing. I guess he said that Van Damme like cut his eye like with his kick. And he actually was saying Van Damme wasn't good at pulling kicks. He wanted to be like kind of hit you a little bit to make it seem real. And so in the interview, he said, and I think he even pointed out, they put up the scene. So when I watch it, I always look to see, I think he was out of commission for a while. Like Van Damme cut like I think he actually sued the director or something too. It was like pretty involved. You can look it up, but so I always look for that in the scene. He's the guy that's up on, he kind of think he has his side of his head's completely shaved. That guy.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
You see him in the mall. He recently died. He did like a huge book about his stunt work, like in the movies and stuff. He died in the past 2 years. He passed away. But
that's a shame. Did you ever see that program following Van Damme around?
Was it on television? Was it a TV show?
He's talking about behind closed doors.
I saw a little bit. There's like a scene on YouTube where I guess him and his wife had like a real fight, and he's like being actually kind of mean to his wife. I can't remember what it was, but it came from that series, I believe.
Yeah.
Just what you said about pulling the kicks. Yeah, there was a stunt guy in that. I remember seeing it. It's behind the scenes, obviously, and Van Damme kicked out all his front teeth.
Wow, wow! I probably would want. I'd rather have that than the eyeball, but those are pretty neck and neck. You know?
Yeah, and but his son was going over to try and patch things up, saying, "Oh, he's really sorry about it. He's going to pay for everything to be done." And you see Van Damme's going to pieces, like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it." He goes, "Where do you get this guy from? My stuntmen know to get out of the way, and look at the mess." And you feel like, well, it's just, it happens. You're making martial art films. You're trying to do split second timing. Maybe he does want it too bad to look really, really good, but he certainly wasn't happy that happened, And
who else did that? There's another guy who in this industry that's known for. Was it someone with Benny Benny the Jet?
Dick Way.
Okay. Jackie Chan told Benny, "I'm not going to do anything with you if you keep hitting me." I think in Wheels on Meals, he was like, really, I remember that, and he had to like pull him aside and say, like, "Dude, you're like lighting me up here." And I guess he was such a real fighter that he like didn't know the pull as much to pull the punches.
Yeah. That makes sense. I know Hong Jong Lee kicked out one of Jackie's teeth as well, didn't he? In was it Snake and Eagle Shadow?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it's bound to happen. But I know some of the guys, you can tell sometimes they really put like something on their chest to let them take the hit. Like especially like Bob Wall and Enter the Dragon. Actually, that was one he did break his ribs when he has the two. I guess he said I'm trying to remember. So I guess he had cut Bruce Lee for real, and Bruce Lee was going to get his revenge against him. Yeah. So I'm trying to think. Yeah, a lot of those. It works for us to watch those scenes, but man, those guys went through the mill for some of for us.
I know. Art is pain.
Yep.
All right, Caleb. What do you got? Drum roll time.
For number 2, number 2 is Bloodsport.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa.
You know what? You did tell me once. I kept talking like Bloodsport was your favorite, and you had to.
I said it's not.
You had to break it to me. Okay. But that did get me again. Wow. I thought Bloodsport tournament.
I know what it is now, though. I know what it is now.
Yeah. Bloodsport is my number 2. It's really just. I do have to admit that a lot of my love for Bloodsport is mostly nostalgia. And I've talked about this with Leon especially whenever we were recasting that movie a little while back. The thing with that, and the thing with Bloodsport, is that I do recognize its issues. Like, they're most certainly there. It's not, it's hard to miss, and it's the whole thing is just kind of built on, I'll say lies, but it's still just. for me, it's still just a really fun movie. I love the setting. It's a tournament, yeah, but I also just love the way it looks, especially when they're fighting, where they're fighting in the Wall City. I love the arena. I love the platform. I love that whole thing. Van Damme, yeah, he's very green in this movie, but at the same time, there are scenes where I felt a real sense of determination with him.
Oh yeah.
Because that movie, that was Van Damme's big break, and he wanted it so badly. You know, he really, really wanted to do that movie. He wanted to be a big star. He knew he had it in him, and so I think that determination came through a little bit in some scenes in that movie. So like that's another thing that really resonates with me in that movie. With that movie is just Van Damme's determination, and the music's great. Stan Bush, yeah. Fight to Survive. That's a classic. It always will be for me.
We might have to agree. This is probably the best soundtrack for a Van Damme movie, or at least there's some other contenders, but this one just seems like I want to get this soundtrack. Frankie Times Square Kung Fu I think he had it on vinyl or something too. Like people talk about this one a lot.
Yeah, it's a really good one. And I remember the first time I saw Bloodsport, it was on, I know Jason mentioned that he would see it on TBS a lot. When I first saw it, it was on a channel called Versus. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Later on, they had UFC on there too, a bit.
Yeah, they would show that. They'd show WEC back when that was a thing. Yeah. They would show Chuck Norris's World Combat League, which was also kind of interesting to see.
Is that like point karate thing where they're down in this little like trough? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was fun. I would watch that sometimes. Sometimes it could be a fun watch. There are actually a lot of guys who fought in his World Combat League that would transition over to MMA. So it's
cool.
It was a starting point for some fighters. But anyway, back to Bloodsport. I remember the first time I saw it on Versus. I was just channel surfing. And I was young. I don't remember how old I was, but I was pretty young. But I was just channel surfing, and I came across it, and it was Bolo. Right? I was right there at the end, though. Like right when I got to it, I was right there at the end where Bolo says, "You are next." And
there you go.
Yeah, I was.
That'll
right
pull there. Young Caleb in. That'll pull.
Yeah, but I saw him, and I was like, oh, it's Bolo, because I knew Enter the Dragon, So I when I came across him, I was like, oh, it's Bolo from Enter the Dragon. He says, "You are next," and then see Van Damme. I was like, I don't know who this guy is, but then like he goes to fight, and I just again, it was just the setting. I just thought it was cool, and I don't know, the movie. I don't know. It just pulled me in. And it still does today. It still just holds up really well. It's the movie that made Van Damme a star, and it is the movie that made me love Van Damme. So yeah, that's really just that's what it is for me. That's why Bloodsport is such a near and dear one to me.
I will say, I think we'd all agree, like kind of just going off what you're saying there, it probably has the most rewatchability of a Van Damme movie. Maybe because it's the tournament setting. Like it just seems like, as much as like I love Double Impact, you let it simmer, you think about it. Bloodsport's, you get it, you could just put it right back on and just watch it again, because it has a lightness to it. And I have a question. Is Bloodsport, does that have the most helicopter kicks of any Van Damme movie? I'm trying to find I swear, because I think they were trying to debut it. They would do each one like from different angles, 3 in a row, right?
Yeah.
I think you're right there. And I just wanted to add to what Caleb said there, actually, because I didn't mention it when I mentioned Bloodsport myself. But if it wasn't for Bloodsport, I wouldn't have been such a big Van Damme fan. It's the one I saw that drew me in and made me go and explore the rest of it. So,
cool. More than Double Impact. That was your first, so.
Yeah, it was the first one that I saw, and then I think I saw Black Eagle afterwards. And
that's a little rough.
Yeah.
So much potential. I like it, but it's just, I don't know. When I saw that VHS, and I was so into in the time Enter the Ninja, and so into Van Damme by that point, I was like, here we go, Shogus. And it just, I don't know. It just, their fight's okay. It's just odd. There's a lot of stop and starts in that fight, and Van Damme's in a suit or something. It's I don't know. It's a lot of anticlimactic moments for me in that one, but it's decent. All right, Leon, drum roll time for you, man.
Okay, here we go. I got a feeling you guys are going to get this, but I've just got one thing to say to you. Knock so cow. Not so cow.
Yeah.
Nice.
It had to be Kickboxer. When I was torn up, and I really was torn up, and I was really, really struggling with 1 and 2. And Shaz sat down with me. She wrote her list out already. This is my list. I'm like, okay, cool. And she said, what would you rather not, if you had the choice, said you could only watch one of these 2 films, Double Impact or Kickboxer? She said, again, which film would it be? And I really tore over this for ages. And I said, you know what? It will be Kickboxer, because that was the one as a kid that really had a lasting impression on me. I just loved you said about Bloodsport having the best soundtrack. I'd say yes, but I would say the best score is Kickboxer.
Oh, it's really good.
It really puts me in the mood, that background music. The whole setup for it is a little bit more serious, and that perhaps in some parts maybe too serious. And I've discussed that with Shaz at length, like what happens with the girl in it, the niece. I said, that's probably a step too much, really. I thought you didn't really need that. What he'd done to his brother was enough, and I like that to have been the focus for the revenge. If I was to change one thing, I would probably take that out, as it leaves a tiny bit of a bad taste in my mouth after everything else in the film, and also attacking the dog. But the villain, I like at the time that they cast Tong Po as Tong Po, even though it's Michael Quigley, as we all come to know later.
I know.
It's like, you sneaky devils. But I love that they built that character into something larger than life.
I forgot about that. I forgot that.
Yeah. With that facial
himself.
Yeah.
They were doing a Blair Witch thing, trying to make it seem like, but with that prosthetic, you can almost throw him a bone and be like, he really was transformed on that.
Yeah. And he looked really fearsome, didn't he? When he first kicking, the first bit I saw of Kickboxer was on the program over here in the UK called, I think it was Film 89 at the time, and Barry Norman was showing clips of it, and it was where he was kicking the
the
pillar,
the
column, and immediately that got my imagination, like, oh Jesus Christ, like, these guys are superhuman brute, like, and I just love that. And then training scenes have always been a thing for me, Karate Kid, 36 Chamber of Shaolin, and then you've got Kickboxer and Uncle Zian. And are you ready with the coconut, whatever it is?
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. And
so good.
And a little bit of humor with the the meat, and like, this make you run faster. How? And then he's like, next scene's the dog running after him with meat strapped to his leg. So all these elements, like, the only thing is that why I nearly put Double Impact in place was because, again, we've got a hindrance to the villain. He needs like something more than just his own ability to be able to beat Van Damme. He needs to have hostages, and I think for me, I'd rather that hadn't been the case. I'd rather it was just how bad Tong Po was, how badass he was. And but that being said, I loved the film as I saw the film, and I used to have a T-shirt of Van Damme doing the poles in Kickboxer. And when I remember being on holiday when I was young, I think it might have been Cyprus, and I was getting like my mum to take a picture and wondering how it would turn out, copying the poles on the T-shirt. I was absolutely was smitten with Kickboxer, and I even like the sequels. I know they're not on the same level, but I like that whole mythology of Kickboxer, and Dennis Chan as Uncle Zian. So I'm going to stop there, because I feel like I've covered Kickboxer plenty, and I don't want to rattle on too much. But yeah, that's my number one, and a lot of soul searching to get there, but I do love it. Kickboxer, 1989, classic Van Damme.
Great choice, man. Great choice. I have a quick callback, though. When we were talking about doing this, you threw out to us, you said, you'll never guess my number one. Was that a fake out, or so, like, what's up with that?
It was going to be Hard Target at that point.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have guessed that one. I would have guessed Kickboxer, but the rewatch has really changed stuff. I talked to Sean about that.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
it's the only one that touched me inside. I actually welled up watching Kickboxer. I thought, Christ, this has got that much of a grip on me. And I was like, I did not expect that. Like, I didn't expect to be touched like emotionally by a Jean Claude Van Damme film, but I
A
was.
throwback to when you're young, or an actual the story got to you at the end, or
I think a mixture of the two. I think it's
Okay.
the nostalgia and forgetting how much it used to mean to me, and the story, the music, some of the camera work with the sunset. When he's doing the forms and then when he's kicking like the rods, the spears that have been like heated up, and just things like that, and the hawk, and and then he's hearing all the old warriors. Just all that combined, I thought this is the perfect Van Damme film for me. I thought I like a lot of the others, but if I had to keep one, that would be the one I'd keep.
Killer. All right, my number one. Will you guys do the drum roll with me?
Drum roll.
My number one is Kickboxer. So
sorry.
No, I like it. I think it gives a little more oomph to it. Shows that we're in agreement, Yeah, if I said nowhere to run, you guys would have what? But
walk out.
Yeah. So Kickboxer, it's the one that all my issues I have with Bloodsport. I do recall watching it right after, like it was the next one I rented. And I've mentioned this before with us, and I think in our first stream a year ago, it's just a seismic leap in Van Damme's acting. And his acting got better and better, but it just was a big jump in Bloodsport. He has a lot of no's in a lot of his movies. He got that down there, By the time it got the double impact, when they did that like fake killing of Frank over the walkie-talkie, I saw the no comment, like, yeah, he got it, It's just like he got better at those emotional like peaks, and that started in Kickboxer for me. And I'm a sucker for I love the cookie cutter martial arts, You have the villain set up, you have the revenge plot, you have the character arc, the hero's journey where he has to go through the training, and then you have the finale. I love the variations of that, but if I'm going to watch a Shaw Brothers movie and I'm going to watch any sort of movie, I'm kind of hoping for that plot, because I'm probably from Rocky, to be honest. Like, I saw Rocky, and when I saw those, you can't beat that. The training, and then like Rocky IV going through that, it just makes the ending so amazing, And Kickboxer has it in spades, and Tong Po's always like kind of hovering over everything with his evilness. I think that's why they kept throwing the dog and all that stuff, just say, hey, we're still here and we're so evil, because that was our problem with Drunken Master. The villain goes away for so long and they don't show him like kill anyone. That's just like, it's just pure training. I think you have to have a reminder of what's going on, And man, Van Damme, he's just in peak form, him kicking the tree, the humor of it. And when it gets to the end, I will admit it has a little bit of the stopping and starting and that aspect. It's not like some crazy, like back and forth, like uncut thing, but it works. And I just love it. And like, it has the traditional ending where the dog's back and they're all hugging in a freeze frame. I mean, that's like the standard 80s ending, So yeah, it just hits all the marks for me. And if anyone another reason outside of me being like it being my personal favorite, if someone said to me, and this is maybe a question for you guys, if someone said, hey, I've never seen a Van Damme movie, what should I watch? I'd have to say Kickboxer. And I'd be remiss if I didn't also mention the dancing scene. And shout out to my mother. My mother, I posted that, I think during COVID, before I met you guys, I posted a video saying, this is what I'm going to be doing whenever lockdown ends. And I posted the dancing scene, and my mom's like, what is that? Like, what is that? So and my mom and my aunt end up watching the whole movie, because my mom thinks that's the funniest, and it is pretty much like the funniest scene ever, So if someone asked me what should I watch for Van Damme, I'd have to say Kickboxer, because Bloodsport, I mean, is more for maybe guys, that tournament setting, but just Kickboxer has the heart, it has the dance scene, and it has the training. You can't beat the training. The training in Bloodsport, I feel, is a little kind of watered down. You got to just whatever. I mean, I can't even remember. It's like kind of his opening where he's throwing them on the mats. And then it shows Bola. It shows all them doing a little bit of training, Yeah, Kickboxer takes the cake. That's my number one.
That's cool. I'm glad you mentioned the dance scene.
Yeah, I almost forgot.
Have you ever tried to do it?
No, I know you probably did though.
in a nightclub.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were you as drunk as Van Damme? Or?
I was probably not far off, to be fair. And if one of my friends is watching this, Taz not, he will remember because he was with me. And yeah, it was
Is
in
his
a
name
club in
Taz?
Torquay. No, we all call him Taz because he's manic like the Tasmanian devil.
Okay.
He's
I'm seeing a theme here.
DJ.
Taz, Shaz, you got a lot of.
Yeah. But yeah, he was with me, and I hit the dance floor. I can't remember what was on, and I just suddenly thought it'd be cool to do that Van Damme dance. And funny enough, I had two girls come up and start dancing with me, and which is just the perfect, isn't it? Yeah. Because anyway, he said afterwards, he said, Leon, he said, you didn't say you could dance. I never knew you could dance. I'm like, I can't dance, Taz. I'm absolutely inebriated. And if I try to recreate this any other day, it's never going to happen. But that one night, I got a chance to shine like Van Damme. And I'm so happy I got that in the memory and that he shared it with me. Yes. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, it's not going up on the channel. I'm not trying to recreate it.
I was thinking that's the only negative thing. There weren't That's the only negative thing. There wasn't cell phones to, capture that. Wow.
Yeah. I wish he did, but it was before cell phones. It's format Shaz, obviously. So it was just a stupid moment, but it was inspired because of bloody kickboxer. I wouldn't have done it if I'd never seen Kickboxer. So
no two boyfriends came up to fight you after, like during it, because he had the two girls.
No. And I didn't do the splits because I could never do the box splits. I can only do the front ones. But,
okay, that's a good story there, man. Okay. Caleb, drum roll.
Yeah, you guys already saw it coming. My number one is Lionheart. Absolutely love Lionheart. I remember.
Good.
Yeah, the first time I saw it, I went into it not expecting a whole lot. Mm-hmm. I was thinking. I was just thinking. Okay, like I know. Not many people talk about this one. It's probably one of it might be considered kind of a low tier Van Damme movie for some people. So I wasn't expecting a whole lot whenever I went into it. But whenever I watched it, like by the end, I was like, oh my God, that is the best Van Damme movie I've ever seen. Mainly because we mentioned it a couple of times already, but the drama of the movie. It is very emotional. It is a very heavy movie. As far as just as far as like the drama and the sadness of everything. It's got like Van Damme. Yeah, he kind of plays it kind of very stoic in a way, I'll say. But at the same time, I like how he just wants to help his family. He lost his brother. He wasn't there to save his brother, but he does want to try to do right by him and support his brother, support his sister-in-law and support his niece and everything like that. And we also have Harrison Page added to the mix, and he is great in this movie. I love how he is he kind of gets Van Damme's character. He gets Lionheart into the circuit and everything. But I also like how he tries to help him. There are moments where he tries to be the voice of reason. He definitely, as an actor, brings his A game in that movie.
For sure.
Yeah, and and then in that ending, oh man, I really love that ending. Whenever they're taking Van Damme away, I was like, man, this is really ending on a down note. But then they pull over, but then they just pull over and they're like, get out, and then they let him go. I was like, it's like, yay, they let him go. He went back to his family. Everybody lives happily ever after. I don't know. That just it really hit me. I really like how they handled it and everything. Again, the fight scenes. They're fight scenes, I guess. But
well, that's cool.
They do try to get a little creative with it, though. Having him fight in a swimming pool and stuff like that. I thought, okay, that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, that's just a fun one for me. I like the dramatic performance. Again, Van Damme he can act when he puts his mind to it and everything, and he's given the right material and stuff like that. So yeah, he may be kind of very stoic in this, but at the same time, I really did buy that he wanted to help his family and stuff like that. So
he's a bit of a sourpuss in this. Like he's rightfully so. He's just so mad that whenever the guy's trying to get him to fight, and they're all trying to get him to fight, and he's just always staring. I'm like, leave me alone. He just wants to be left alone.
Yeah.
But cool, man. I like your takes on that. I like your insights into it.
Yeah.
I will say this one was one of the first ones I rewatched, and I had it actually in my top 5 when I watched it. But the other ones I kept watching were just knocking it down and down and down. And it is really good. It suffers. I think this is one of the worst for the fights for me. Not to knock your number one by any means, just to say the drama is amazing. Van Damme, this is around the time where his acting really was getting a lot better. But the fight scenes are just odd. Like they set them up, and the one with the cars, and it's funny. There's just one punch in the nuts. That's funny, but it's like, this felt like Pit Fighter, the video game. I wanted like a And the pool one's cool with the capoeira, but I have to say the ending is not much of a fight at all with that guy. Like Van Damme is just getting sauced and destroyed, and then Van Damme just like beats the crap out of him and straight away
becomes unstoppable.
It's just like it has the effect that they're going for. It has the effect that they want, of him being so intimidating and him getting beat up. But I thought they could have thrown a little more of a back and forth in the movie. The fights are what dropped that out of the running for me. But I do agree with you though on the drama, how good it is.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of you on that, Caleb, because I've pushed a lot of drama on my channel, and this gives me hope. I will get you into One Car Why one of these days. And some of these Hong Kong dramas that I harp on about.
Well, I thought you were going to have Nowhere to Run at number 1, because when you said you can't, and I don't mean that as an insult, because you just said a moment ago, leave or something. I thought when you said no, you won't guess your number 1, and I know you like dramas, I instantly thought Nowhere to Run was up there. And I do like that one. I do like it too. It has way more action than I thought. I thought it had, when I was young, in my mind, it had no action. It was just like the slow drama. Rewatching it now, what they did, like I said, is they just cut his legs off. There's no kicks. And I think I don't know. What do you think if that had a standard Van Damme thing, standard fighting, maybe it wouldn't stand out like it does. It would have just been, it would have been weird if he was doing helicopter kicks in the barn or something.
I get to watch a Van Damme film because I want to see Van Damme do his Van Damme thing, his Van Damme kicks. So when you take that out of the equation, it's a good film and probably one of his better films, but it's not the JCVD that I want to see. Yeah. And I think that's where it kind of suffers when I do a list like this. Though I admire the film, and I really do admire it. I like that bike chase scene. I think that's absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah. Really good.
That's really good. And again, some of the acting with the kids in that one. I think it's Kieran Culkin in it, Macaulay Culkin's brother in it, and the little girl. Absolutely, but it feels like Shane, the Western, but in a modern day setting with Jailbreak. And I really do like it, but it wasn't enough to break into my list. Then I didn't watch. I got to say, Caleb, I didn't watch. For those in the UK that are thinking, what's Lionheart? It is AWOL over here.
Yes.
Absent without leave. And I didn't rewatch it, but I watched that when I was off ill with the operation, and I was surprised at how much I really did enjoy that one. But I think as compared to some of the others at that time, for me, it felt more B-movie or cheaper budget, whereas some of the others felt more. But that shouldn't affect my overall thought of the film or my opinion of scoring of that.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to return to it again, especially hearing your passion for it and whatnot. It's made me think, damn, I wish I watched that in this run of rewatches. So I will be giving it a rewatch, and especially concentrating on that drama that you mentioned, because as you know, I love my drama. So yeah.
It's also called Wrong Bet. And do you know what the fourth title is? I'll take a wild guess.
Leon?
I can't remember.
Yes. It's called Leon. There's a version that Yeah, it's Leon, because I say it like that because when I watched one version with the subtitles, they kept saying his name is Lyon in the subtitles, which was odd. They were
Yeah.
saying Leon on
Lion.
screen. Yeah. So
Yeah.
but when it had the title screen, it was Leon, which is a very nice name. So
I'm guessing they were trying to say like the Lyon was maybe like a French version of it or something. I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
That's just my guess.
They were trying to just like spoon feed us. It's switching to Lion, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they were making the
Lionheart.
audience feel like we couldn't do the jump from Leon or something.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird how it's funny, but I thought it was kind of weird how in the movie, whenever he first meets Harrison Page's character, and he asks him what his name is, he says Leon, and he's like, "What? What kind of name is that?" It's like Lionheart. He's
Leon-
a bit sensitive about that scene.
Yeah, it was just so obvious they wrote it like that, you know. And then she takes it a step forward. You could see her wheels turning, and it's just like Lionheart. Like that woman. Oh my god, that is how funny is that scene where she is like really seducing him, and like she turns on a dime and just goes back crazy when she realizes, like, man, she goes nuts throwing stuff. And
yeah.
Cool, guys. So Leon, you have a little epilogue moment for us here.
Let's see how I did. I can't remember the feedback. Okay, so tell me how many I got right, Caleb. In number 5, I know you didn't have this at all. I had Universal Soldier. Number 4, I had Kickboxer. No. Number 3, I had Double Impact.
Yeah, you were right there.
But no, I think Kickboxer was 4 for you, right, Caleb?
No, I didn't pick Kickboxer. That was an honorable mention.
Oh, your honorable mention. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we had Double Impact.
Wishful
3.
thinking.
Number 2, we had AWOL, and number 1, I had Bloodsport. So I had them the wrong way around.
Yeah.
I did have 3 that were in your list, didn't I? So
yeah.
That's not bad, is it? That's not bad. All right, Jason, this is going to make you laugh now because one of these was on Caleb's. The Quest I had at number 5.
Wow.
I know. Bloodsport I had at 4.
Okay. I think
Sudden Death I had at 3. AWOL I had at 2. And Kickboxer I had at 1. So I got number 1.
Okay, right. Cool. Now that's like an earlier list I had. Like, I did the tournament version of when watching them. You know, they kick them all down. You know, but very nice. I like your predictions.
I really chuffed to see Time Cop come on your list. I wasn't sure. I should have known, really. I should have known. I'm kicking myself that I didn't see that.
I mean, Time Cop, I wasn't sure, like, where it was going to land. It's when I rewatched it, because, like I said, like, it's that nostalgia, and you're young, and you have kind of a different rule set. Let me think. My guess on you, Leon, do the switch it back. I thought you had nowhere to run at, like, number 1, because you often have curveballs and the drama, like I said. I would have maybe thought Cyborg would have been up in yours. In your list, like higher a little bit. My funny thing on Cyborg is that's another one they used to play on like USA and TBS. The acting of that villain was so
awful.
Weird. Oh, so bad. Funny, but almost just so bad you can't even understand how they let that go through. You know, and like, but
I thought it would be higher.
There is something charming on. There is something charming on Cyborg. It's strange. It's a really weird one, and it's so odd that it feels like Van Damme was in such a trajectory, and just to have that, because I guess he was offered 3 movies. I can't remember what they were. He was offered from Golem from the Cannon films. I can't remember. I think it was what's Chuck Norris? It was Missing in Action, one of the Ninja ones maybe, or something. Yeah, American Ninja. I think it was Missing in Action and Cyborg, and he chose Cyborg. But I don't think he realized it was a hand-me-down from.
Yeah. Isn't he credited for being in Missing in Action, or am I getting mixed up with somebody else?
He was an extra or a stunt man or something in that one.
Interesting. I know when he moved to LA, maybe because of the karate scene, him and Chuck Norris were like training together even before. You know, there's footage of that. I'm sure you guys seen them kicking a bag or something, or mitts or whatever it is. But I thought that was interesting. He hadn't made it at all, but he was he was already in there with Chuck Norris, so he definitely was going for it. His stories, like weird aspects of his story. He was doing so well with a gym. He had so much money saved up, but he put that away, and he only allowed himself $3,000 because he wanted to struggle. And he was like sleeping in cars and doing all that. But you think if you had that, I guess that was like his nest back home if it all failed, I guess, because you wouldn't want to blow through it. But apparently his father was like, wait, you're going to America? You have this gym over here and it's doing so well. And yeah, he went for it, you know.
Wow. Yeah, I heard that he went to somewhere where Menem Golem was having dinner, and he just started doing his jumping proper kicks in front of him and saying, I'm going to be a star sort of thing. And
I actually think he was the waiter. I think he was the waiter, if I recall.
Was he the waiter?
I think he was the waiter when it was at a restaurant. If I remember correctly, and then he went up to his office, I guess, and was doing the kicks again. And the dude was like, I'm sorry, this isn't going to work. And the story, this almost sounds a little made up, but the story is Van Damme started crying. And Golem, this is in I think it's in Electric Boogaloo, the documentary on Canon Films. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Yeah, I have. It's been a while.
I haven't seen the whole thing, but
guys, that's one of my favorite documentaries ever. I love that. I definitely recommend
that is a killer documentary. Yeah,
watch that again, Caleb. You'll dig it.
I can picture Van Damme just like trying to do all these moves in the restaurant, and Menem Golan's like trying to eat here.
And I guess he started crying though when he met him, like in the second meeting, and then on the second meeting, and he finally just said, "Okay, hold on," and he went like, "Bring me the script," and they brought in Bloodsport. I think he won him over because Van Damme's doing kicks, splits, crying, and the rest is history. So
I have to say a small part of me was thinking Jason might throw Knockoff into his list because
funny.
Yeah,
that's
and
funny.
I say that because like I remember a couple of instances where you would talk just about how outrageous that movie is, and I just kind of thought I feel like he would probably throw that on his list of just personal favorites.
Dude, that's funny you said that. I thought that was the worst thing I ever saw when I first saw it. Van Damme, he looks literally like on death's door in that. He has the worst eye bags. He looks like he aged 15 years and hasn't slept. And everything, like the comedy between the two, everything is wrong. That's Ringo Lam, right? Is the director on that one?
Yeah.
Is it? No, I think it's Troy Hawk.
Troy Hawk on that one. Because I know he did a lot.
Yeah.
I think Ringo Lam is a Double Team. I'm mixing it up, I believe.
Yeah, Double Team, In Hell, and
Maximum Risk. I think they did Maximum Risk together.
Yeah, that was it. Thank you.
Maximum Risk, I thought he did with Cindy Crawford, but he didn't. I don't know why. There's some movie I thought he did with Cindy Crawford. Maybe that's like someone else.
It was Natasha Heenstridge from Species.
Man, you were good with that. You're like a walking IMDb, Leon. Holy, I mean, you don't even skip a beat. Like, but no, what I was gonna say is that Knockoff. I thought was the worst thing ever. I did think it was funny where he's running and the shoes are falling apart. He's like, it's a knockoff or whatever. But when
humor with two M's.
I know. But you're onto something. When I watched it later, I think it has some charm. I think I need that on Blu-ray. There's something about Knockoff just for how weird it is. It is. I think Kickboxer is quintessential Van Damme, but quintessential Cocaine 1998 Van Damme. Runner up is Double Team, but Knockoff. That has to be the best coked out Van Damme.
I love the scene in Knockoff when he finds out Rob Schneider's character is an FBI agent and they're arguing on the rooftop. That is so funny because they're both just like Rob Schneider, I've been carrying you for 4 years, and Van Damme, you lied to me, and just all this other. Oh man, all these other weird lines. It's just. I love that scene. It's so funny.
Just on a quick tangent, does anybody want to guess what was Shaz's number one was?
Oh, you know what? I wanted to throw that in because you kept mentioning Shaz. I didn't realize she kind of did the rewatches with you.
She a whole lot except for Universal Soldier.
If you can give us her top three, but if you only know number one, I'm down.
Okay, so third place, she had Death Warrant.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, she really liked that. Second place, she had Kickboxer, and first place, she had Double Impact.
Okay.
She really dug the twins.
Well, that's a great list with Shaz doing that. I think Double Impact's kind of like, I don't know if you want to say MVP. It's kind of like the sleeper dark horse. Like Double Impact got into our list. I would have thought Lionheart would have been, I would have thought maybe, I don't know, maybe like a Death Warrant. Death Warrant's kind of odd. It's kind of like in that Cyborg period where he had to go through a couple weird ones to get onto his next track, Death Warrant's all right. Wow. Okay. Double Impact though is that's the one that's on when you count Shaz on all of our lists. Well, we also all have Bloodsport, but
because you mentioned No Retreat, No Surrender right at the beginning, yeah, and I do love that. Quick hot take. Favorite Van Damme villain performance? I'm
okay.
literally for me, it is No Retreat, No Surrender.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, okay. Well, when you said earlier we were going to do our favorite villain performance, right? I thought you meant the favorite villain going against Van Damme.
No,
You
I
said
meant
that. Okay.
his villainous performance.
Well, for that one, which I was waiting to say was Bolo and Double Impact and Tung Po.
Yeah,
You know,
cool.
those are the two.
Yeah.
I had that on deck. But yeah, I got to go with No Retreat, No Surrender, because he's a bit of a caricature because he's always like cartoonish and like getting really like funnily mad, you know. But his fighting. I don't know if it's the sound effects. His fighting is so brutal in that. It is so relentless. It is just unreal. And I have to see Expendables 2 again. I did like that ending, but
That was a
I
good
can't.
one.
Yeah, it's something about Expendables. I like the first one was okay. I kind of glazed over and it didn't like. I thought it was gonna be much better. It's a cool popcorn movie. I felt Expendables 2 is better with the Van Damme aspect, but for him as a villain, I got to go with you guys. No Retreat.
Well, that's it then. We finally found something that all three of us are the same one.
Yes,
Awesome.
There we go. All right, fellas. Well, thank you guys. That was a blast. That was so fun.
Definitely.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, man. That was great. Any other little tidbits, observation? Oh, here's my little tidbit observation. Did you guys catch watching these his hematoma on Van Damme's head? Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. I had to look it up. And there's theories on what it is. Like there's like doctors or some doctor said it's a lipomas, I guess like when you get fat deposits. And then Van Damme himself referred to it as a cyst. But wow, on the more angry he gets, he has like a big bubble.
Yeah, I was looking at that and I didn't have a clue as to what it was, but it's more prominent in some films than others, isn't it?
It kind of grew as it and by the time you get to sudden death, I think it's really popping, you know.
I mean, such a handsome guy, isn't he, when he's younger? I mean, he looks like a bloody model. And then you go to him now and he looks more grizzled. You know, he's still a good looking guy, but he just looks more grizzled and fits those roles that he takes now.
He has a look like if you ever watch like a bodybuilder who really diets down, their faces get like striations on their face. I wouldn't just call it wrinkles. He has like the look of someone who dieted down like fast or something. Because when you see him now, I mean, I think it was Howard Stern was like ripping on him. Howard Stern was talking about that. What's it called? Jack Van Damme Johnson, or what's that little Amazon Prime thing?
Oh yeah, Jean Claude.
Van Johnson.
Yeah, Jean Claude. Yeah, it's Jean Claude. Yeah, Jean Claude Van Johnson.
Well, Howard Stern's going, this is the best thing ever. And he was talking about him doing the splits on that, like talking about he goes, but Van Damme looks like he got hit by a truck. He's going, this guy was so handsome. Howard Stern's going, what happened to this guy? Like, and Robin, I remember hearing that Robin's going, I know he was, and I'm not like knocking on him, but I don't know. He has a very rugged look, like you said, nowadays.
I'm going to get into trouble as well because I forgot to say something that I promised I would mention.
Throw it in,
Jazz. And I shouldn't mention it because we talked about Knockoff quite a lot, and we haven't actually watched that all the way through. We just started watching it this morning.
Oh, okay. That was you were trying to squeeze it in for the.
Yeah, I was, and I thought, well, this ain't going to knock anything off my top spot. So I stopped, and I said, oh my god, I said they're trying to make him Jean Claude Van Damme. And she just thought that was hysterical, and because it does, it looks like that style with him running against the van when he's on the thing, you know. I thought, oh, we're trying to make him do all the challenges and so I will be watching it now.
I had a thought. I wish they would have done. I know Jackie Chan, Van Damme, and I think Bruce Willis. They like teamed up and did like Universal Hollywoods or something. Or it might have been Sylvester Stallone, but I know they did restaurants. So Van Damme had some sort of Jackie connection. I wish Ringo Lam or one of them would have just done one. I think it was that Jackie Chan was going off on his Rush Hour kick later on, but I just wonder how, just to kind of like, you know, think about it, how Van Damme would have done if he did work with those directors, but they never pushed him to do like a Jackie Chan, like Shaw Brothers style fighting. I just wish I could see him do some long stretches. I don't know if it's not his style at all, or because I think he could have done it. Because if you see No Retreat, you know.
Yeah, he could easily. I mean, he kicks with both legs so frequently in No Retreat, No Surrender, which is really, really good, effortless, seamless. But you don't see it as much later. It's mainly just the one leg, isn't it? But
that's funny you said it. A guy wrote me on Instagram saying, "Hey, have you ever noticed Van Damme will never kick with his left foot?" And I said, "Hold on." And then like after he said that, I actually don't yeah, you're right. He does like spinning back kicks and no retreat, I think, and stuff like that. But for his straight kick where he goes up, it's always his right leg. Yeah. Cool, guys. Well, great job. Caleb, any parting thoughts?
No, just that this was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, cool.
I don't want to go. I'm having too much of a good time. In fact, I've got one more hot take to throw in there because I'm having such a good time. Then I'll let you guys go, I swear.
Okay, let's hear it.
But my favorite Van Damme scene of all time in any movie, and mine is in my top 5. It's not in the top 5. I'll just do a really shitty impersonation. I just want to eat. You know the film?
Hold on. Is that Cyborg?
No. I just want to eat. It was in.
I don't know.
It's Universal Soldier.
Oh,
right.
In the diner. In the diner.
Yeah, that's my favorite scene ever of his. I just love that scene. What about you guys?
Fine. My final thought though, I can't think of a favorite scene. It has to be the dancing scene, not to be too obvious. I mean, that's just so, but I will say a sleeper one that isn't an honorable mention that I forgot to mention though is Replicant. Have you guys ever seen that one?
No,
I know of it, but I haven't seen it.
When me and my buddy were trying to go through all his later ones, like in a row, and we couldn't like derailed. Oh my God. Some of those ones had like a model train. The budget was like so bad, but out of nowhere, Replicant was like so good. Like Replicant was so much better than those In Hells and all those other ones, The Order, with all those different ones. So if you need a late period Van Damme, I would say check out the Replicant. That's my
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll check
Part
that out.
2, follow it up with pre 98 ones.
Post 98, you mean, right?
Post 98.
Post cocaine period. All right, fellas, have a great one. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.